Selling your home can be both exciting and scary at the same time. The reality is there's a lot of both technical and emotional bumps and bruises along the way. So how do you guarantee that when you start down the road to sell your home that you're going to get from where you are now to where you want to be at the end of that transaction? Stick around. Today I'm going to give you my top 5 ways to make sure that you guarantee that you're going to make it to a successful conclusion to where you want to go. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is your Central Maine Realtor, Nick Isgro, and as I just stated, today I want to go through my top 5 tips to guarantee that when you start down this road of making a big move like selling your home and moving somewhere else, that you're going to get to that successful conclusion, that you're going to make it there. To be honest, this will be a little bit different than some of the other videos I do because some of this isn't going to be so technical. It's not going to be built on statistics. There's a lot of nuance in this process and we don't always bring that to you. Well, today I was actually writing an Instagram post about this based off just some recent experiences that I've had with my own actual clients. And this all comes from the experience that I have as a real estate professional here in Central Maine. And I thought, what better thing could I do than actually bring that to you guys out there? You're always so supportive and you know, there's a lot of nuance to this and it's not always just about the technical details. There's a lot of other things that play into whether a party makes it from start all the way to the finish line. We're going to cover that today. Now, before I do, I want to welcome you here to the channel. If you've never been here before, we cover all things real estate here in the state of Maine, particularly right here in the Central Maine market. Now, if that's of interest to you or adds value to your process in the buying and selling of homes, do me a favor, go ahead and like this video, hit subscribe, knock that little alarm bell. You'll be notified every time we put out new content. Starting right at the top of the list here, this is super important. When you're selling your home, know why you are selling. And I know that sounds so basic. It sounds so easy. Yeah, of course we're selling. We want a bigger house. We want a smaller house. But is that really what you want? You want to get very, very clear on the details because there's a lot of people who could look around their house and they're looking at things and you know, everybody has room for improvement and maybe you've heard the market's good and you're just jumping in. If you can't get crystal clear on why you're selling your home and where you want to go, then you're not going to have an easy time when it comes to negotiating on your home. In fact, I would go so far as to say that if you can't be very precise and very clear about why it is that you are selling your home, it might not be the right time for you. That's something to consider. The second way you can guarantee that you're going to have a successful transaction when you're selling your home is know where you want to go. And when I say know where you want to go, I'm not just talking about location. It's like, all right, look, the kids have left the house. You want something smaller, or maybe you're bursting at the seams and you need something bigger. You also have to think about other things. You know, what are the non-negotiables? What kind of size yard do you have? Are you potentially downsizing because your yard right now is just too much for you to handle and maybe you're just getting to an age where that's going to be too much for you? Or conversely, maybe the family's growing and you have to have that second bathroom, you have to have the master suite. These are non-negotiables. You're tired of sharing a bathroom with the kids, you're getting their toothpaste everywhere, it's chaos, it's crazy in the morning, it's not something you want to do anymore. Whatever your non-negotiables are, and this is going to tie into that first reason why you're selling. When you have that list of non-negotiables, keep it in front of you. It doesn't mean you can't change things as you go, but as you're out looking at properties, you want to work with your real estate agent and keep these things at the forefront because sometimes you can get caught up in the frenzy of, ooh, there was a fancy kitchen, maybe there's a really cool game room in the basement that you fell in love with. But if it doesn't check the boxes on your non-negotiables, ask yourself, A, is it really non-negotiable? Maybe you've had a change of heart. Or B, maybe even with these other things, this just isn't the right place for us. You want to stay on track so you don't regret making this decision in the first place. My third piece of advice here is critical to all of this, and that is understand the market data. The real estate agent that you're working with should be providing you with regular updates. Whether you're on the selling side or when you're negotiating the other side of that, the purchase, you need to know what's going on in the market. And not just in the market, what is the niche in that town, in that price range? All of these things are going to be critical to keeping you on track and helping you make the right decisions. At the end of the day, this is a market-driven industry. So regardless of what side of the transaction you're on, as you're moving through, when you're negotiating, you want to be at the top of your game. You want to get the best deal for you, and you also want to know that, frankly, you're just doing the right thing for you and for your family. The way to do that is to stay on top of the market data. All right, now whereas the data can help us really not get emotional, this is going to bring me to tip number 4, and that is don't let your emotions rule the day. Remember, you love your house. You brought your family up there, potentially you're moving out, or maybe it's where your kid took their first steps. Whatever the case may be, remember, the people who are looking at your homes to purchase it don't have those memories. as you get into negotiations, it's going to be easy to slip into a very emotional state and be offended when people start to negotiate things, or maybe just don't place the same value you do on certain items in the house or certain features of the house. It's not personal. They just don't have that experience. They might have that experience when they get into the house and they purchase it, but right now they don't. So just remember, keep a cool head, appreciate all of the value that you've taken from that home, all that it's provided for you over all the years that you lived in it. I mean, let's face it, it was a great house. It's hard to move, but you're ready to move on to that next chapter, and the people looking at your home just don't have that experience. So give them the opportunity to, and just don't take it personally. My last big piece of advice here to make sure that you are going to have a success in getting from wanting to sell your home into living in that dream home that you're looking to go to is trust. Trust yourself, trust your team, trust your agent. First, at the top of the list here, let's put the agent. Your real estate agent has a fiduciary responsibility under the Maine state law to look out for your best interests. And they need to know the law, they need to know the data, but you should know that they are aligned with you and they are part of your team. Also, financial professionals, surveyors, bankers, whoever you bring into that mix, you want to remember you're bringing them into the mix because you needed their expert advice. If you're surrounded by a good team, these people are going to be looking out for your best interest. Now, the other thing I want to say is trust yourself. And this is actually probably much more common than not trusting your agent or your banker or whoever else. Trust yourself. You know, you want to be able to make smart decisions as you're going through this, but you also want to trust your intuition. And I think this is super important. If you're in a transaction and it just doesn't feel right to you, you feel it in your gut, it doesn't feel right, it's not the right move most likely. Now, conversely, if everything feels right and it feels good, but you just have some kind of hesitation because you're scared, bring in the professionals, talk it through. Maybe you'll see that this is an unfounded fear that's preventing you. But either way, trust yourself, trust your team, and I promise you, things are gonna go very well. That is it. This was just a quick video today. Like I said, there's a lot of nuance to real estate transactions when you're selling your home, and I see all of the things that bring transactions crashing down. And you know what? It's almost never some just totally benign technical thing. It's always because either somebody wasn't clear on something they should have been clear about, maybe they got too emotional, or maybe they just didn't trust themselves or others. If you can get the right team around you, this is going to be easy, but it's super important that you take all of this advice, break it down, and really think, is this the right time for you or is it not the right time for you? If it is, move forward with trust. So how about you guys? What are you out there? I know a lot of you have actually recently been through transactions. Some of you will often comment on the videos of a transaction that played out in your life. What are your thoughts? What do you think? I would love to get one of the things that you think might really derail a transaction that is not necessarily one of the technical things, like the foundation is caving in. Go ahead, drop a comment below. Would love to hear from you. Of course, if you guys are looking for a professional to guide you through this real estate market, especially here in the central Maine area, let me know, hit me up. I would love to chat with you, see if there's something I could help you with. And even if you're outside of the area, I have business partners all over the US and Canada and would be happy to link you up with someone who could really take good care of you. Now, of course, as always, I appreciate each and every one of you sticking around to the end of this video. Till the next one, I'll see you next time.